gotta say it again after.
I said hit it, Pale Daddy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Opening Night Trivia, where we are continuing our search for the fourth and final Trios captain. My name is Alex, and with me is a very uninterested onlooker, the two-time champion and captain going into this Trios competition, Joe Fairley. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm hurting a little bit still, but you gotta dust it off and get back in there. I'm looking forward to seeing this because not only are we getting closer to finding out who that fourth captain is, the players that got here earned their place. So the likelihood is that whoever's here is probably going to end up in the trios.
Oh yeah, and both of them were the trios competitors. Both of them very highly ranked. Eli had a very hot year. He won the team's title actually with someone. And Antonio has a high record. Has for a while. He is 3-2, I think. Yep, Eli 3-1. Boom! I did the research. I said I wasn't going to use it, but I did.
And he's part of Gallic D's Nuts, a team that don't like saying the name, but a team that are making a name for themselves, playing pretty well at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's coming down to solo play here, trying to advance to see who is going to play Bobby C. Robert Kastner for the final spot in captainship. He loves it when we call him Bobby. That's probably enough from us. Let's talk to the player.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, it's been a while since I think I've done a one-on-one, until at least it's felt like a while. But yeah, just had to deal with running out of gas on the road, so I'm coming here exhausted. Had to rush dinner, but I've heard good things about Eli, and gonna always take it seriously. I do want that last spot, so although I had to go through my boy Bobby in order to do so, but let's just see how this goes. I'm excited. Let's get to it. May the best man win.
Hey everyone, I'm back. After losing to Brittany, I'm now back in another singles match against Antonio Chavez. And I can just say this, Antonio, you're an amazing player. I am never going to deny that because I've seen what you've been able to do in fandom. You're fantastic. That's all I can really say. Look, if I win, I get to go up against Robert Kastner to potentially be a captain of a trios team. That sounds exciting. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, I just want to get into this match so I can have fun playing against Antonio Chavez. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Eli. Yes.
Thanks, Actor Daddy. The point is, we're getting through this trios thing really, really quick. Really, it's actually been really relatively painless in terms of as opposed to the team stuff, which has been impossible to schedule. This has been flying.
Two players.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably what it is. Let's bring them in.
Yeah. There they are.
Yeah, the current team's champion, and then the high rank contenders, both of them.
And
Eli
never
McCaig,
been a
Antonio
champion.
Chavez. Not yet. Not yet. Give it a second. Give it time. TMG tournament winner. That happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, boom, did it. Accomplishment.
Really a champion, but okay, I'll take it.
All right, so we're going to get started here in round number one. Round number one, we have 10 questions from 10 different categories that we heard open our trivia have determined to be geek. You'll have around 50 seconds to answer your question after it has been asked on their whiteboard. Each question is worth a point. 3 repeats and a challenge. Rabble. Bonus question, all 10 points. Bonus question, stab.
Probably get a scoreboard going.
Yeah, I'm bad at maths. You probably should. And while you do that, I will be asking your first question because Joe wasn't ready. Your first question will come in the category of Middle Earth.
How did I know that? Okay.
In The Two Towers, what do the Ents do to destroy Saruman's forces inside Isengard?
Movie slaps.
It does slap. Have you been keeping up with the latest release of this here franchise?
I am 4 episodes in. I'm still one behind, but it's between that and Andor and She-Hulk and House of the Dragon and studying. And work.
We're in a real age. You know what I mean? Just a solid time we're having recently. 5, yeah,
Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens are down. We will start with Eli,
I just said they flood the forces.
and we'll go to Antonio.
I went too pie weird. I said they throw boulders, but they also flood them with water.
I mean, they do throw boulders.
We will accept both. Both are definitely correct.
I wasn't sure how specific you wanted, so I was like,
You had the flood in there. That's cool. We're going to move on to your second question, which is going to come in the category of sci-fi killers. Who directed Alien Covenant? Is this one I need to revisit?
Yeah, I think I was having a conversation with someone earlier about this exact same thing, and I agree. It's something that you need to revisit. Because you'll probably need it sooner than a lot of us. I mean, I think, yeah.
Alternatively, I could get better at quotes and just take sci-fi killers off.
That would be, yeah. That's a strat. Improving on the thing that you
I'm trying.
champ shit right there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens are down. We'll go to Antonio,
Ridley Scott?
and we will go to Eli,
I also wrote Ridley Scott.
and you would both be correct. All right, your next question. Star Trek. Who plays Captain Christopher Pike in Star Trek 2009?
At some point, we are just going to start saying Star Trek.
As soon as I said 2009, I was like, didn't need that. Probably could have just left that out. There's only one movie called. Yeah, you know what? Official decree. We're just gonna get that out of the document here, 'cause we don't need it. Note to the editor: don't write that last part. Boom. Executive authority, probably. I don't know if I have the authority to do that. I said it.
Who
So
else
I
is going
probably
to have the authority? Who else has the authority?
4, 3, I'm not sure. 2, 1. Pens are down. I asked that question, so I think we're up to Eli.
Bruce Greenwood.
And we'll go to Antonio.
Bruce Greenwood.
Both are correct.
You are both correct. So we're going to move on to your next category, which is DC. In Watchmen, how is the comedian killed by his attacker at the start of the movie? I did revisit this one recently.
I see.
You notice because more questions from it started turning up in documents I was writing.
Yeah, I would say that is a notable pattern that you have, that you share with everyone, because I think everyone does the exact same thing. They'll watch a movie and they'll be like, I don't write enough Encanto questions.
You just write. They all cut. They're fresh.
I should definitely write some more Encanto questions. And you should, by the way. Not for this, but I mean, that would be weird. 5, 4.
Gotcha.
Three.
Encanto officially a Marvel movie.
1. Pens are down, if only. We'll start with Antonio.
He was thrown out of a window after getting his ass kicked.
We'll go to Eli.
I just said he's thrown out a window.
I guess both are still legally correct. Yeah. He does get that ass kicked. All
Unless
right.
you read Doomsday Clock, then there's more stuff that happened.
I didn't. I can't read.
Sorry, comic book nerd here.
I can't read. Your next question will come from the mixed bag. What U.S. state do the events of 30 Days of Night take place in?
I shouldn't reveal this here, but I haven't seen this as theaters.
I'm sure you're one of the lucky 13 people.
Repeat the question.
Not in. That is Antonio's first repeat. Once again, from the category of the mixed bag. What U.S. state do the events of 30 Days of Night take place in? I mean, 14 max, right? Like, I have a copy, but I didn't go see it. Because I think it's rated R.
It was out. There was a big group, so naturally you have to see something that appeals to the gen. And it was like, oh, horror, yeah.
Sure.
Appeals to the masses.
Fine. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens are down. We will start with Eli.
I honestly didn't know. I said Alaska.
And we will go to Antonio.
There was snow in the movie, so I said Alaska.
Reasonable guess, and both are correct.
Again, I just remember the poster and I saw snow. I'm like, Alaska?
Yeah.
No, I'll ask her. But I will ask this one, which is in the category of the MCU. In Captain America's Civil War, when Bucky escapes from the Berlin facility, who is the first Avenger to confront him? I think I wore this t-shirt when I went to see it.
Yeah, sure.
There's a photo of me just like out of the theater reaction. It's like,
Yeah, you have a lot of those. I've seen where you have a few of those where you're like,
look,
like you're the scribe dude from Mulan.
sometimes you have a face that works in a photo, so you keep doing that face.
Yeah, mine is this one.
I like it.
It's the one I've got. We're gonna go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No repeats. Pens are down. We will go to Antonio.
It's a very broad question. I just went Iron Man.
And we will go to Eli.
One of us is right. I said Black Widow.
Actually,
Both of you are incorrect.
That's fair.
The correct answer was Sam Wilson, Falcon.
That is fair. Only reason why I said one of us is right is because we both had different answers.
And with that, I believe there are no perfect rounds, right?
nope. Scores 5-5.
All right. As we get into your next question, which will be quotes. Which Marvel actor says the line, "Ever since you were a little boy, you've been living with so many unresolved things. We'll take it from an old man. Those things send us down a road. They make us who we are."
Excellent delivery.
Thank you. As we all know, I studied food in school. I was really good at lunch. I was fantastic at lunch. Best part of my day. That and the naps that we used to take in math class.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Hence why I had the scoreboard.
And I do too, but we're still on fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens are down. We will start with Eli.
Tommy Lee Jones?
And Antonio.
Is that Ian McKellen?
Both are incorrect. We were looking for Martin Sheen.
In what movie? I just realized.
Yes.
With the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
guessing it'll be Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah.
No wonder I didn't know. It's a shitty one. Okay.
Literally, the first name I had was Cliff Robertson. I'm like, no, it's not him.
You were closer than I was.
Let's move on before this all kicks off. We're going to go to your next question, which is in the category of my favorite Star Wars. Which Star Wars film features a character tackling another character to the ground, saving them from a giant troop transport? That was a mouth. The giant troop transport. I struggled with it, to be honest.
You didn't do your vocals, probably.
I didn't go full Ron Burgundy at the start. I should. Scotchy, scotch. Then it's water, not scotch.
Oh, what a fantastic idea you've just had. Unfortunately, mine is all the way over there. So I'll have to settle for, just the not hard stuff at all.
I don't think I'd have to say there's 2 matches in a row, but other drinks brands are available.
3,
Repeat.
2. That is Eli's first repeat.
Your question was again in Star Wars. Which Star Wars film features a character tackling another character to the ground, saving them from a giant troop transport? He nailed it.
Flawless delivery that time.
I was ready for it this time.
Yeah. Killing killing the game. We're good. We're good hosts.
The
The other day, like it devolved, and I was like ruining whiteboards with like glitter nail polish. This is a little too sloppy, but this is going fine.
This is going great. I feel like we're like the equivalent now of that meme of Obama giving himself a medal. I feel
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Probably won't last too much longer. I'd say we only have about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens are down. We will start with Antonio on this one.
Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
And we'll go to Eli.
Clone Wars?
The Phantom Menace is correct.
Qui-Gon to Jar Jar, right?
Yeah. Sure.
I was thinking at the immediate beginning.
All right. That will lead us to your second to last question, which will come from the category of the Wizarding World. In Half-Blood Prince, who does Hermione bring to Slughorn's Christmas party to make Ron jealous?
I feel like this movie could also have been titled "Ron's Gone Wrong."
It's a good one.
We are laughing.
Yeah, look at us. Like, not even. I haven't threatened anyone yet. It came close. It came close with the disrespect of the Amazing Spider-Man.
Deep cut once.
I almost punched. I almost punched our backstage producer about that one. Because I feel like it would have been bad to assault a current competitor.
I mean, the first
And
Amazing Spider-Man.
I don't know what the laws are of assaulting a police officer in 5, 4,
Serious?
3,
Well,
2,
I
1.
won't go into that. That's a bit.
Down. Eli,
Yeah, I had no idea. I just said Neville Longbottom.
and we'll go to Antonio.
Got a weird name. I just know he's that one dude that tried out for keeper.
That one dude who tried out the keeper is named Cormac McCaig.
And that would be correct, but can't accept either answer.
Now, so what is your final question in this round, as there are no perfect rounds? In the category of the DCEU, how many DCEU films feature the character Superman?
Have we talked about how fun DC League of Super Pets is?
I haven't
Such
seen
a
it.
fun movie.
I saw the first 45 minutes like last night, and you know what? I'm a fan. I'm a real big fan.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to have to because I play here and I write here, so I'm going to have to see it at some point.
It's
What if we just did? What if we just all agreed? We'll watch it, but gentleman's agreement, no questions about this one. You know how we did about like Megamind or whatever. We just all agree. Hey, none of that, because one of us keeps missing questions about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens are down. We will go to Antonio for this one,
I just went 4.
and we will go to Eli.
I also said 4 because I'm going to be upset if the number 5, if there is a number 5.
4
Okay.
is the correct answer.
Hey. You said character that Henry Cavill. That's why I was like, shit. All right.
So coming out of round number 1, we have a score of 7-6. 7-6 round. A strong round 1. A very strong start, especially to this round. So we're going to move on to round number 2. Round number 2 is going to work like this. Before the match, both players chose a category they wanted removed from our randomizer. We then randomized that, took the first 3 categories that came up, and that's given us our round 2. The player in the lead will decide whether they want to choose first and whether they want to answer first. They'll choose one of the 3 categories. The second player will choose another one, whereas the third category will be moved to round number 3. Your categories for round number 2 today are Marvel, Star Wars, and Star Trek. So, Antonio, as the player in the lead, would you like to choose first and would you like to answer first?
I would like to choose first, but go second.
And what would you like to choose?
I'm wearing the shirt for a reason, so I'm going Star Wars.
Star Wars. Star Wars is off the board. Eli, would you like Marvel or Star Trek?
Well, I would like Marvel, please.
Marvel.
Love it.
Is so Star Trek will be the round 3 category. There is a 5-pointer in there.
Look at Champ Joe over here, ready to say five rounds. It is a 3-round match today. We will be starting with the questions in Marvel. I guess I'll take those because I know you like both of them, but I know you like one significantly more, probably.
Maybe.
He's wearing a Marvel shirt though.
Yeah, that's true.
I
meant Joe, but yeah, all right. Let's do
more of an MCU shirt. But, yeah, sure.
That's I didn't. Okay, yeah. Fuck me and my jokes.
Alex, you're losing control.
Not yet. Yeah. No, we'll do 5 questions in Marvel if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeet. All right. Your first question. In which Marvel movie does a character kill a woman on a plane using a peanut?
That is Daredevil.
That is correct for 2 points.
I legitimately love Colin Farrell in that movie.
Cool.
He's almost got the perfect last name.
Respect.
Your second question. At what type of location does Miles Morales meet Peter B. Parker in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
It is a graveyard.
It's correct for 2 points. Third question. In 2005's Fantastic Four, Stan Lee has a cameo as a man with what profession?
He is a mailman.
It's correct for 2 points. Fourth question. In Morbius, aside from a blood pack, what item does Milo leave in Morbius's jail cell?
Milo leaves his cane.
2 points. And for a clean sweep, in Deadpool, what song plays during the montage of Wade being tortured to stimulate his mutant gene?
Multiple choice.
All right. Is it A, Angel of the Morning, B, Mr. Sandman, C, You're the Inspiration, or D, Careless Whisper? Need an answer or repeat in 5, 4, 3,
A.
2. A is incorrect. So we will go to Antonio for a potential 1-point steal. Once again, is it A, Angel of the Morning, B, Mr. Sandman, C, You're the Inspiration, or D, Careless Whisper?
No one appreciates music anymore. It's B, Mr. Sandman.
Mr. Sandman is correct for a 1-point steal. With that is the end of the Marvel questions, bringing Eli's total to 14.
14 is what I have.
Yep. But with a 1-point steal, Antonio gets up to 8.
Okay, so moving on to Antonio's round 2 in the category of Star Wars. Antonio, ready for your questions in Star Wars?
Yeah, sure.
Your first question. What was the first Star Wars film to not feature a massive battle between armies in space? And that's chronological order.
Need an answer or repeat in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Solo, a Star Wars story?
That is incorrect. Eli, chance for a 2-point steal.
Is it Attack of the Clones?
That is correct for a 2-point steal. Antonio, your second question in Star Wars. What is the primary side effect of the Boar Gullet, as explained by Saw Gerrera in Rogue One, a Star Wars story?
Multiple choice.
Your multiple choice options are: is it A, aggression, B, mind control, C, people lose their minds, or D, their souls are sucked out?
People lose their minds.
That is correct for 1 point. Your third question in Star Wars. What color is Leia's lightsaber in The Rise of Skywalker?
My favorite, blue.
That is correct. 2 points. In Revenge of the Sith, what planet does Grievous tell the Separatist leaders he's sending them to?
Mustafar.
For 2 points. And your final question in Star Wars. In A New Hope, what does Luke initially think the Death Star is before Obi-Wan corrects him?
A small moon.
That is correct for 2 more points.
All right. So with the end of that, I have the score very close game. With 2 points still.
Eli's favor.
Yep. 15-16 advantage Eli as we get into round number 3. Right. In round number 3, we have a 2, a 3, and a 5-point question potentially to decide who is going to win this match, as well as advance to play Robert Kastner to determine the next trios captain, the final trios captain. We will be answering these questions in the category of Star Trek. Eli, you have control of the board. Simple choice. Do you want set 1 or set 2?
I'm going to be taking set 2.
Set 2 it is. I'd like to remind you that you have each just used 1 repeat. And best of luck in this round number 3. Antonio, we'll start with you for 2 points and the lead. Once again from set 1. Cybok is the main villain in what Star Trek movie? Answer or repeat. 5, 4, 3.
The Final Frontier.
That is correct for 2 points.
Passing it back to Eli to answer his 2 points and now to retake the lead. Eli, your 2 points are in Star Trek.
What are you doing?
Balthazar Edison is the main villain in which Star Trek movie?
Star Trek Beyond.
That is correct for 2 points. And the
And
lead
the lead.
once again.
All right. And now for 3 points, Antonio. Who composed the score for Star Trek Generations?
Freaking scores.
You can answer or repeat in 5, 4, 3.
Jerry Goldsmith.
2. That is incorrect. Looking for Dennis McCarthy.
Oh, never would have got that. All right.
All right. So here is the situation. Antonio will have to try and hit his 5-point question to try and send it back to Eli to answer some questions. If he misses, this game will be over and Eli will advance. So with 2 repeats still on the board for 5 points, what substance did David use to create the Genesis planet that makes it unstable in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock?
That's a good one. Fuck.
All right. Need an answer or repeat in 5, 4, 3,
Repeat.
2. All right. That is your second repeat. Once again for 5 points. What substance did David use to create the Genesis planet that makes it unstable in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock? And to repeat in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat.
All right, last one. Once again for 5 points. What substance did David use to create the Genesis planet that makes it unstable in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock?
I'm gonna hope it's been used in more than one movie. Trilithium.
And your winner, Eli McCaig. We were looking for protomatter. Protomatter. All right. So with that, Eli takes the win. He will advance to play Robert Kastner. We're going to give Eli a second, and we're going to talk to Antonio, who played a very close game, was on the wrong side of a steal or two, and that just kind of swung the advantage toward Eli's side, and then a little bit of trouble in a kind of a technical category that is Star Trek. You played a great game. It just didn't come up your side. How are you feeling?
Yeah, that still kind of like just sent me down a little bit. I was just because I was listening to the question. Then when Joe added chronological, I was like, oh shit. So then that's when I started going. My brains just started going all different directions, and I just probably should have used a repeat there. And then also Star Trek, it's just something I really need to get back into. It's not a bad franchise. I just need to like really pay attention. But yeah, Eli took advantage, and yeah, he knows his stuff. So hopefully I'll be back. But yeah, this one's gonna hurt for a little bit.
Yeah, a close match throughout though. You had the 1 point lead, and he had the 1 point lead, and you took a 1 point lead. But it was down to the wire all the way through. And on the plus side, you used all 3 repeats, so now you have a name of a movie from this year that slaps right by your name.
Haven't seen it, but I heard good things.
This does unfortunately end your bid for singles, but however, it does not mean that you're out of it necessarily. With the trios coming up, there are a lot of people looking to draft teams. You are, by my account, still ranked in the top 10 by the very least. So that should curry some favor going forward. You played very well here today, and you are a very skilled player. Remember, I said the tournament thing from earlier? That's still true, everybody. I did not make that up. So, shout out to all the Geek captains who are I'm sure looking forward to this one. Yeah, you, Joe, you specifically. Well done, well played, and we'll hopefully see you very soon.
Thank you.
And we're back with today's winner, advancing in this little gauntlet that we've got. Eli, we seem to be seeing you a lot in the winner circle this year. Advancing over a very tough Antonio. You got that the sweet steal in there that kind of turned things around for you. You were down after round number 1, and then just hitting that sweet 2 in Star Trek seems to be like a thing for you.
Yeah, that's what I've really noticed. Whenever I'm winning a match here, it's either because I hit my 2-pointer and my opponents can't hit their 3 or 5, or I get a very lucky 3-point answer and they can't get the 5. So like that, yeah, that's my luck. Just being able to get that. And yeah, Antonio is an amazing player. He was a strong competitor. Coming out of round 1, I was a little nervous, but then once I was able to get to Marvel and stuck with my guns with Marvel, sure, I didn't get the Deadpool one, but the moment I heard the question, I had no idea what the answer was. So even with multiple choice, I was not going to get the answer right. So yeah, that again with the Star Wars question, when Joe said chronologically, I started playing all the movies out in my head, and I didn't see a space fight in Attack of the Clones. So I was like, all right, it's that one. So yeah, that's how everything happened.
Cool. This does set you up for a match here with Robert Kastner. Bobby C is waiting in the wings for you. Any thoughts about him as an opponent?
I mean, he's a fantastic opponent. There's a reason why he's like throughout all of the trivia stuff, he's considered one of the best geek or fandom players. And I mean, Joe and I have played against him and Jake Meltzer in a teams match. So I know how great of a competitor Robert Kastner is, and I'm not going to take him lightly. I know for a fact he's not going to take me lightly because again, we beat him and Jake, and that led us to win the teams geek championships. So yeah, like I know for a fact he's not going to think lightly of me. I'm not going to think lightly of him. And yeah, I'm just going to go in hoping for a victory and become a captain of a trios team. Or if I don't win, hopefully Joe will draft me or someone will draft me.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
That's the thing I think you need to start thinking about now. We said the same thing to Robert when he beat Carabojo, is now you are one match away from being a captain. So it may be the time for you to start having a think and looking at the players that you want in your team to represent you, because you and I share something in common from this year. You and I have both lost to Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's waiting at the end of this trios tournament, is a title match against Brittany. So you need to start, I think both you and Robert need to start now, is start thinking about those players that you're thinking about drafting. Who's going to get you to that title match, or who, and that, because that's what you want. But those players are also going to be hungry as well. You will have to face it off against them as well. And that's what's going to make this really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very much me looking about it and going, okay, who's going to help me? But at the same time, at the end of it all, who do I think I have a chance about beating if we were to win the tournament? So yeah, I'm looking at all of those little potentialities. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward, and yeah, that's really all I can say. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens against Robert.
Congratulations on your win once again, Eli. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that I think he stole my bet. I was gonna say that it's time to start looking at trios teams potentialities. We've been trying to think about, like, who would Joe take? It's tough, isn't it? Because Joe's like a fairly social player. In fact, quite a few of the captains are very social players, and there are lots of incredible teams that could come out of this trios situation. Let's see,
I think there's going to be some interesting matchups. Maybe some people will draft players that we're not necessarily expecting them to draft, and I think that could also be very, very interesting. But it's all about, for the moment, it's all about finding out who that fourth captain is going to be.
Yep, and they will join Joe, David, and the third captain elected, Tyler Birch, all potential captains, or all going to be captains here in ONTL Trios. But that is a story for another time. So for everybody here, for our backstage producer, Pale Daddy, you know what I'm talking about, for Antonio, for today's winner, Eli, for Joe, and for myself, and Open Night Trivia just in general, remember,
Stay classy, movie trivia leagues.